Now this is the second technique that I'm going to introduce to join these squares and to solve another problem facing me while doing this. I do have here two equal squares, but I do have this square is not unified and it keeps rolling from these sides, or some squares that I have introduced little bit slanted that you can just see that it goes to the left or the right like this. This is not a straight square. I told you don't worry, because while joining these two ununified squares they will stretch together and match. So the next technique uses not both loop of the stitches, no, only the front loop of one square and the back loop of another. I have here two loops of the stitch. I am going to use only the front loop of this square and put it together with the back loop of this square. Let me move this. This is the front side of the square and this is the front side of the square, and I'm going to join them like this. This is the front and this is the front, and use it like this. I am going to use the front loop in here and the back loop in here like this, and use the yarn and just pull through and tie them together. Now this is what I am going to do. I'm going to keep this yarn between these two squares and use the front loop and insert it in the back loop and pull the yarn through both loops together. So I do have a loop on my hook. Then I'm going to use only the front loop in here, insert the hook in it, then go to the back loop in here. The yarn is under your squares and is under your hook. Insert it in the back loop. Pull the yarn through all loops on your hook like this. Again, the front loop, the yarn is under the hook, the back loop, and pull the yarn through all of them. Again, front loop only, the yarn is under, back loop only, and pull. Continue doing this all along the row, and this is what you should get. It looks like a small braid between these two squares. I'm going to finish it and show it to you. Now I am almost at the end, and the same rule of the uneven squares that I have introduced in the first technique applies to this technique. For example, I will show you if I want to do an increase or decrease between these two squares. I do have here the stitches that I have insert my hook in, and the front loop in here and the back loop in here, and I have an extra stitch in here, so I'm going to insert my hook again in the front loop and in the next stitch here and just pull through, and it will give me this shape. So the same rule applies. You can just insert your hook twice in the same stitch just to match the number of stitches in here to those in here, and so on until you reach the last stitch. This is the last stitch in here, and this is the last stitch, and keep the yarn under your hook all the time. And slip stitch. And I'm going to remove this. This is what you should have. See, these sides which were a little bit twisted or rolled on the sides are even now, and they look perfect in here. This is the second technique, and it's like this from here. See? Now I'm going to introduce the third technique of joining the squares, and another problem can face you with your squares. Two ununified squares, but this time they both are 26 stitches, but the yarn is little bit different, so it creates two different sizes. And of course, because the stitch is different, it helps in doing the size of the square. This technique demands both sides are facing me like the other, of course, but difference is that I'm going to place this front side in the front side of this square, and of course because some of my squares are reversible, so it won't matter with you either this side or that side. But if you use this technique to join other squares with other stitches, just to keep it in mind that this front side is facing the front side of both squares together, and you're working on the back of both. So let me just move this. Now I am going to work on both back loops from each square. So I'm going to use the back loop, which is the front facing you from here, but this is the back, and the other back from here. So I'm going to skip this one and work in this one, and pull the yarn and knot it just to make my yarn secure. And with this technique you can use any kind or any color of yarn because it won't appear. We're working on the back of the squares. Then I am going to insert my hook in both loops that I did and just make a loop. Then you can either work single crochet or slip stitch. This is the easiest way to do a joining between two squares, but you just need to bear in mind you do have here two loops of the stitch and two loops of the stitch of both squares. What I'm going to do is working in this loop, this one, and leaving the next one in here, and just work in this one here and leaving the one inside the square. So basically I am going to work in the loops that are on the back or that are from the outside and leaving these two loops from inside, this one here from the outside, and this one here from the outside. This is the one inside, and just slip stitch or do single crochet, whatever you like. I am going to use this one from the outside and this one from the outside and slip, this one from the outside and this one in here from the outside and slip stitch. I'm almost at the end, and I do have 3 stitches left, like this, this one, and the last one. Look, it will create this shape from here, and it matches the size, and even created this shape in here. You have these loops that you left, created this part. It's the invisible joining. Now this is the fourth part of our video here, and I'm going to show you how you are going to do the border. So I have here my small blanket. Of course you will join all the squares until you finish the 10 squares in length and the 6 squares of wide, and join them together the way you want it. But just for the point of preference, I prefer this one and that one, this technique, the first and the second technique. And I'm going to show you the border for this blanket. Of course you can go with any border that you like, but I like to keep it simple because we have used so many stitches in this blanket. You can finish the border with either any of the stitches that you have learned from these 20 stitches, or what I am using for the pattern, for my pattern, I am going to use 3 rows of border. I'm going to start with one simple single crochet row in each stitch. But for me, I like to work from the back because this is the front, and I'm going to start in here like this and just chain 1. Then I am going to work one single crochet in each of the stitch here. Why from the back? I will show you in a minute how it look like from the other side, which is beautiful and gives a complex view. Or look, see, this is the regular single crochet from the front, and this is how it looks from the back. In here it creates this shape like this in here and in here. I like this way better to look from this side. So I am going to do one row of single crochet in here, and of course when you come to the corner you are going to do 3 single crochet in each corner, the middle stitch of the 3 stitches that we have on here. So just keep repeating this single crochet. Of course I didn't work the whole square, I'm only showing you what you are going to work. This is not the sample that I use. I'm going to frog all these again to join this square to my original blanket, and I'm going to post picture of it once it is finished. So I have done here this sample to show you how you're going to join this corner here. So this is the last stitch that I am going to do single crochet, and I'm going to do 3 single in this corner, and just find the first stitch, find the first single crochet, not the chain one that I started with, and just do a slip stitch as you used to do the border for the squares. This is the first line. Then I'm going to do the second row of the border, the crunch stitch, this chain 1. I'm going to start with 1 half double crochet, 1 slip stitch in the next, 1 double crochet, 1 slip stitch in the next, 1 half double crochet, and 1 slip stitch in the next, and so on until I reach the end. And whenever you reach the corner, you just do 3 stitches in each corner, 1 half double, 1 slip, 1 half double, 1 slip. I am working from the back, so it will give me the shape of the crunch in here, this shape here. Then the last row is going to be 1 row of the crunch stitch again, and I finish this whole pattern or the border. By this I have finished the project that we started since February. I know I have done some mistakes, and if you are interested, you can subscribe and like the video and just join our Facebook group so you are updated to every single project that I will do after that. And of course, I'm going to do a giveaway next week for everyone who shares in this project or even want to share in the future to be projects. I really hope you like this and enjoy doing it and learn something from all the things that we do. And please just post a picture of your finished project, even if you didn't finish anything and done these squares as a pot holder or wash clothes or anything. Just post a picture. It makes me very happy to see your creation and your sharing. Thank you very much, and see you hopefully in another video with another project and another pattern of your choice. Thank you very much.